Well then guys, I have something interesting to show you today. One of my builders, the Lord Goblin Esquire, has invited me over to his town of Linford-upon-Avon to give me a guided tour. So currently, he is waiting for me over in the pub, so let's get on and go find him. Hello, good sir, hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I would offer you a drink, but
Is
no,
it?
it's all mine.
Oh, okay. I might just come over here and actually, can I just put my head underneath these taps? These are really cool taps. Oh!
I mean, I suppose that's one way of getting me out of the pub.
Right, so, Goblin, we've been asked to
Hello.
leave the pub, mainly due to situations that did not happen just then.
Yeah.
So how are you doing? How's things going?
All right. It's it's a bit different since you last came here. It's
I know.
completely remodeled, in case you couldn't already tell.
Well, I can see planning is still up in the air over there. I just had to say that.
I was expecting that joke, and to be honest, I would expect nothing less. So.
I mean, it still looks good over there. I can see some of the cupolas from when we were doing the design for the bank over in Wolverhampton.
And that's actually this. It's another branch of it on the corner here, actually.
So this is the Wolverhampton Banking Group, wasn't it? And you were saying that. You've actually added one of the designs up there. I think that's great. Yeah. Do you know what? It really adds to this town, doesn't it? Just to having another spire.
Well, I think it looked weird with just this. I mean, the roof was a pain to get right.
I know.
I think you can appreciate the corner building dilemma.
I can do, yeah. Do you know what? I looked at it and went, yeah, it's great. It really adds to the town. And then suddenly behind it, there's this huge spiky cathedral just growing up out of it. Do you know what? This town already feels so atmospheric just from having the cathedral as the backdrop. And you've got this nice little square around here. So talk me through these little stalls. These are really interesting.
So the story is that Linford is a market town now. Right. So obviously this is the main market town. So we've got bakers over here. We've got a vegetable and produce stand.
What is
this? And then coral, I think.
Oh, okay. It's coral. Have you got water underneath?
Yes, there's a block of... And then there's nothing in these yet, and just a small flower stand over here.
Really nice. I like these stall designs are cool. They feel nice and airy underneath.
Yeah,
well supported.
This is actually one from the old town. There was, I think there was one that was like by the monument as like a mini market square, except it was absolutely pathetic. So we've now got a proper market, if you will. So this is the local chemist.
Okay.
So actually, the majority of the buildings in the market square are actually based off ones on the Strand in London, from the early 1910s.
Okay, so before it all got remodelled now, like it is.
Well, I say they're based on it. I've basically nicked the bottom two floors from the buildings because a lot of them were at least 4 stories tall. So I've basically just nicked the bottom 2 floors and stuck a roof on it. Yeah,
this is what I was thinking. I was looking at it going, these are really nice designs for just 2-story buildings. Usually Georgians are, 3 stories, 4, 5 with a basement. But yeah, these work really well. I like this area over here actually because it's got, even though it's not finished yet, we've got all of the little alleyways and driveways, and you've got some really nice fancy work up there.
So that is, I think it was Adam. I was walking around his town, and I saw that these 2 Georgian buildings, and he had this Tudor walkway over them, and I thought that's a really nice idea. I like that. I'm nicking that idea.
Yeah, that's the best thing about this server, isn't it? You can just walk around and go, I'm having that. That's a great idea. And no one can blame you for it.
But this is the automobile and carriage factory.
Oh, okay, so there's actually... Oh, yes. Now, I've seen these on Share Your Builds. I think you shared that.
Yes. So I didn't design these vehicles. I am not the best at designing small cars and stuff. So I think the cars made by Ozzy, and I think the characters were made by Adam. But this is based on another building in London, I think. It's somewhere in Spitalfields, I think.
Out in the east.
It's gone now, but But yeah, so
little. Oh, okay. Don't.
Yep. I wouldn't necessarily go through that door. I can't remember if I put floors in all of these.
There is definitely not a floor in that one. Just abyss. Everything about this place is screaming Georgian. I know you were saying last time that you just, the other Linford you built was good and it was getting some of it. It was more.
Yeah.
It was more like that place in Lincolnshire, wasn't it? What's it called? Stamford?
Stamford, yeah. I think the thing with Linford version 1 was I was just trying to cram too many different styles into one town, because the buildings I built originally were Tudor, and I was trying to cram those in with Victorian and Georgian buildings, which, yes, you can do, obviously, as there are towns like that across the UK, but it needs to be done in a specific way in order to look right, which it didn't particularly.
No, it's fair enough, and that's the thing. I did the same with Wolverhampton. I couldn't stand the fact I tried to cram too many different styles and buildings in the original Wolverhampton. That now I've made sure I've stuck to one town, and I'm using ideas across that local area to get into it, rather than every other building under the sun. Just because it looks cool, and it's like, that's the best way to do town planning. You need to plan to have consistency, don't you? That's the thing. Consistency is key.
And that's the thing with that's another thing with version 1 is there was literally no planning. It was just, that's a nice building, I'll stick that in.
Yep.
No would this actually work here? It's just would this look nice?
Exactly, I get that completely. So I've spied a police station.
Yes, this is the new police station. So next to it, down the road, there'll be a fire station.
Cool.
But this is based on one in, I think it's Wales, actually.
It's got that sort of look to it, that nice painted stucco, but I like the black, the grey on there. It works.
Well, it just makes a nice contrast to all of the white and oak buildings that we've got along the street. It's
No, these are cool. I like the proportions are great on them. You've got the central window, which is exactly what you find with Georgian houses, and the different colours work because you do paint them over time. They aren't all the same colour. Originally, they looked
So I was going through painting these, and this one was actually painted by accident. I mistyped something and accidentally typed clay, and actually I looked back for it and went, huh. Actually, that doesn't actually look too bad.
No, I love clay. Clay's a great texture.
It's a nice, subtle light blue.
Yeah, definitely something we lack. I mean, the only closest colour to that would be white concrete because it's got a sort of bluish to it, or at least in my eyes.
As you can tell, as you get further down the street, I did generally start to run out of door colours that I hadn't used before, so some of them do repeat. But
there's nothing wrong with that. I like repetition's fine with this sort of thing, but
no, definitely
the feeling along this whole street is just great. I mean, it's captivated it, and I've got a similar street to it in Wolverhampton with that slope up there, but I prefer these buildings, I would say, because my ones are very eclectic. They're you've seen them. They're just 2 to 3 stories with random dormers on top. But I was going to say, I've seen down here what looks to be a very giant bell, or maybe not even a bell, just a crucible full of lava.
This is the Bell Foundry. So this is based on the Whitechapel Bell Foundry, which was I think the oldest operational bell foundry in the UK until it closed down.
Wow, it's crazy how it's just this small little building.
Yeah, it's it was a really tiny building, but stuff like the Big Ben bell, the bells in Westminster Abbey were cast there. So but I wanted to have a go at building some industry within Linford, so I tried to make one of those big I'm not even sure what they're called. I'm just going to call it a big pot.
Crucibles.
Yeah, we'll go with that. So yeah.
No, that's cool. I like it. It's big. It's on a big frame. I like the sort of the mechanical feel about it. You've got the grindstones down here acting as wheels. Then you've got the chains. Chains are a really good addition to this. I think they add so much to the game.
See, that's one of the. I guess it's not really a block, but I'm going to call it a block and probably annoy a lot of people in the comments. But I think that was one of the best blocks to be added to the game. They add so much life to industrial builds like this.
Not just that, Blackstone as well.
Yes, Blackstone was a great addition, and
with that slight shininess to it, because it just works as metal, but also as roof tiles, and
yeah, definitely.
And I can see that water tower over there. It's been watching me for a while, but it's a very nice build if you look at it from a distance.
So that is that's just it will probably end up staying there, but it looks weird because there isn't any ground underneath it at the moment.
I can see that for a lot of this section around here, but that's fair enough.
It's a bit up in the air, if you will.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it again. Planning is definitely up in the air currently still.
So I actually started this remodel by building this bridge. This was the first thing that I built, and I built everything around the bridge and the boathouse.
Perfect. Yeah, I remember you sort of discussing where and how high and all of that.
And then I just put one of my trains on here.
Yeah, this is cool. I'm looking at this. I like these little iron things. The carriage.
I think which train is this?
Just a milk train.
No, the milk train's the other one. I think this is the Whiteburg United Petroleum one. I think.
So they're oil tanks.
I think this is the oil one. Yeah.
Oh, cool. I've just seen something else down here that I remember you discussing, and
yes, the river survey.
Yeah, look at this. This is a really cool little detail that you just wouldn't ever expect to see in the game, but this is just two blokes out here going, "Oh, that's pretty deep. Let's measure that down." It's really cool. I can see down the bottom here. They've got the plumb weight on the bottom of the chain.
Yeah.
Excellent little detail. I've never known anyone to think of doing this. So Goblin, I think this tops the scales in your favour on the whole server for being the most ingenious detail in a city.
I'll take that.
You'll take that. I mean, you are the first person I've been to as well on these tours, so
this
may change.
I will probably immediately get that title stripped away from me. But yeah, this was. I think I built this when I was struggling with motivation to actually carry on with the old Linford, and I just went. I think I was just scrolling through Pinterest one day, and I just saw it, and I went, why not?
Nah, I mean, it's great, and the fact that it stayed here as well now, it's a testimony to just that procrastination period where it worked for you. But
I think that's another thing to really hammer home is like you're not gonna be constantly wanting to build. I've wanted to just get rid of everything multiple times, and I think it's important to stick with something, even if you change it. It's
I was just going to say, there's a beautiful vista of both the church and the cathedral behind the train and the bridge. Beautiful.
Yeah. So I basically want to fill Linford with as many church spires as I can.
Yep.
Sort of, so you get sort of that Oxford vibe of just loads of spires everywhere.
Or like old London.
Obviously, I'm not just going to stick churches anywhere.
No.
Obviously they're going to make sense, but yeah, I'm sure we can have a closer look at that in a minute.
Yeah, should we wander on up? I like, again, this little street down here is nice. You've got the houses at different levels. Works really well. Cool little signal box, actually.
And I'd never actually built a signal box before. This was my first one. After I was scrolling through yours and MS's Instagram just for inspiration of how to build. This was the first one. I did build an inside to this one, although you can't go in, but you can see through the.
What do you mean?
windows.
I can always break into things.
Oh. Yeah, actually, that was a daft statement for me to make, but
no, this is nice. I like this. You got the proper little levers here. I'm very, very, very hesitant to pull these levers now after the pub incident.
Well, I'll do it then.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Nope.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That actually works.
I'll accept that.
We have two frogs behind us.
Oh.
Perfect. So I like this black townhouse here. It's really cool. It's really striking.
Yeah, so this is the one that's based on the Whitechapel Bale Foundry. It's this painted black brick house that just sits on the street, and I was like, that's actually really nice. Fairly sure it is the only black house in Linford at the moment. Whether I paint another one black is up.
I mean, you can always do that. I think the one next door is definitely getting a bit blackened now, currently.
Yes, well, I would like to take credit for the first on-fire building in Linford. On the server, I think.
Yes, this is amazing. The fact you've done smoke and proper smoke rather than just like, letting the campfires do their thing.
Well, I originally had campfires going on them, and I went, do you know what? That's absolutely pathetic.
Yeah.
So I had to go at building some block smoke.
Yeah, it's cool, and the fact you've done it not just from the front, but from the actual chimney. I guess this is a chimney fire, maybe that's caused all of this, or.
Yeah, well, it's I think there was a gentleman who was staying in a room who just lobbed a cigarette into a fire, and it just went up.
As you do, and now it's on
fire. And now everything's just on fire.
And we can't not mention this beautiful fire engine down here.
Yes, so I had so someone on our Discord, or sorry, on your Discord, posted rather sent me a message showing me a fire engine that they built, and I went, do you know what? I haven't built a fire engine before. I'm going to have a go at that. So I think this is based off of a Dennis one, I think.
The 1914 Dennis, I think it is.
Yeah.
I like it. The big diesel engine. Well, it would have been just big petrol engine at the time, still in the front there.
Yeah.
Oh, this is really cool. And then the fact, you've managed to use barrier blocks to hoist that incline up the stairs or with the rails, which is nice. But yeah, honestly, this is so the little detail I've just said about over there being on top of the list. I think this has now taken the biscuit already. So it didn't even last a whole episode. Wow. This is really cool. So what sort of final touches have we got to see then around here? I'm guessing the church is the next best thing.
Well, so the church is. I'm just going to hop over the fence. So the spire is nicked from the one that was in Old Linford.
Just over there.
The top bit I just nicked. But the rest of the church is completely new.
I love the colour of it.
Yeah, I was hesitant about the sandstone and the oak to begin with, but actually it works well. I've come to like it. And this one does actually have an interior.
Oh, right, okay, let's have a look inside. I was just taking a little look from the river. I think that's a great view with the little graveyard around it as well. But yes, I've seen this on your Instagram, and I saw that a lot of people shared this as well. They really liked it. And so commemorations, not commemorations, you're not dead. Congratulations to that. But wow, so not only have you done that, but you've outdone yourself by putting it to the pineapple, of course, because you are a member of the CDP yourself.
Well, of course.
So let's get up here and do our surnames for the day. But no, this is really cool. The ceiling's nice. I like the gilded touch you have to it, because usually people just go quite drab and dead inside a church, but this is nice. It feels.
This was based off of I think it was just based off of several of Wren's churches in London. I just compiled a list of images and just went through them and went, I like that bit, I'm nicking that.
It's like walking backwards down the central aisle. No, that's really cool. You've got a nice font at the back here, and there's just nothing wrong with this church. This is making me want to do my church now, as I haven't got around to doing it yet. But it's a great scale as well. It doesn't feel massive. It doesn't feel too small. It's that sort of nice medium-sized town church rather than a grand cathedral.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. Not gonna lie, it is actually beautiful. I like just the greenery around it gives as well, and the fact it's up here on the slope, but it's not on the same hill as the cathedral means you've got even more gradient through here.
Yeah, there's a nice transition between the two heights that works well. I think so. Oh, and actually, we've just passed one of the other buildings that I've built. So the name of the church is the Church of St Mary by the Wardrobe. And,
Okay. Yeah, I did notice that.
This is said wardrobe. This is the wardrobe of the Lord Mayor of Linford.
So explain. So this is where he keeps his clothes.
So this is based off of the concept of, in London, there was a building in, I think, about the 1700s or late 1600s called the Royal Wardrobe, and that was basically where the king would store some of his more ceremonial clothes, as well as several other like personal items that belonged to the crown, and I think several guns and stuff were kept in there as well. However, that building was well, it was obviously late 1600s because it burned down in the Great Fire of London.
Right.
So obviously, I had to pick a completely new building, and actually, the building it's based off is actually a Twining's tea shop.
Okay. Yeah.
But I thought the gilded gold and white worked quite well.
It's really nice, and it's just another little sort of classical building you just sort of see nestled between the rows of townhouses. And we got anything around the back?
No. Probably. Oh, this one does actually have a flooring.
Yeah, I was just looking like, oh, there isn't the abyss down there. But next door, it's just the hole to hell, and it's like,
yeah, I wouldn't necessarily look down all of the windows, as some of them probably
no, I won't.
Yeah, there's no floor in that one.
I was going to take a quick glance across the gardens down here because this is nice. You know, you've gone for the backyards, which is great because not every house had luscious greenery at the back. It was just mainly a muddy patch.
Definitely, and these will be dirtied up a bit more in the coming weeks and months.
Perfect. Yeah. Right, where would you like to wrap up this tour? Well, Goblin, thank you so much for taking me on this whistle-stop tour. Well, not even whistle-stop, this very nice, in-depth tour around Linford-upon-Avon as it currently stands. What is it? A couple of roads at the moment.
Yeah, a couple of roads.
Yeah,
no, you're very welcome.
No, I'm amazed at how much you've done. Like you've had sprouts of inspiration that you've just been posting and posting and posting on Discord. So it's really great to now see it in person.
Oh, well, you're very welcome. Thank you very much for coming.
So, Goblin, I add you to the list of people that have the most interesting little details in there. You currently have 2. So we'll see what other towns are out there that can beat your record of that. But anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. Remember, get inspired, get building, and I'll see you next time.